All right, folks, welcome back for another session of Off the Grid. I wanted to welcome my next guest. He's a musician, an author, a teacher from Brooklyn, New York. You name it, he does it. He's well known for his work as a co-creator for the show, the Lyricist Lounge show. He's had music featured on shows such as Power, Criminal Minded, NCIS. His work has contributed to animation soundtracks such as SpongeBob SquarePants the movie, Dexter's Laboratory, and the list goes on. Certified legend in my books. I wanted to welcome the amazing and talented MC Wordsworth to the show. Thank you for making time to do this. And how are you today?
I'm great, man. I appreciate just being on, you having me. It's always dope.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, before I go into your storied career and all the amazing things that you do, I'm always interested on how the foundation is set. So I wanted to take it back before rap. And I'm curious, what was your first exposure to music? What were your parents bumping back in the day?
Yeah, my mom was playing like um, like Whip It. And then also it was very diverse with the music selection. Then you got, the Luther Vandross going
Yep.
on, and then you got the Keith Sweat going on.
Yep.
But then you also have whatever pop music is hot at the time. So it was mixed, man. So it really didn't get into like the hip hop part until I have an older sister, my older sister Kim. So she's 4 years older than me. So she
Okay.
was the one that started buying the Run DMC, the LL Cool J albums, the Salt and Pepper stuff. And then I'm falling into the hip hop. But prior to that, it's the big floor model record player.
Yeah.
Putting on the 40, put the 45s on there and 12 inches on there, and trying listening to it and just kind of like trying to dance or whatever. I think it's really just the excitement of putting the record on for me then, and then just moving around to it is where it started. But it was just a mixed bag of different things.
Yeah. And how was the radio back then? Was it really good too in terms of music? And was it just mostly what your parents were playing on the record player?
Yeah, it was mainly record player.
Okay. Wow.
It wasn't really radio. We didn't have a car.
Yeah.
Lived in an apartment building. So there's no, we traveled train and bus, wasn't messing with no Walkmans or anything like that at the time. So it was just radio, it was just record player, vinyls, some cassettes, like 8 tracks and stuff like that. And then that was pretty much it. Then once hip hop came around, my sister was the real one that really started delving into the other formats.
Yeah, you have an advantage with that. So she gets to kind of tell you what's cool as you grow up. 4 years old, so you're freshman, she's in high school, or as you get younger, she's just got the in on what's cool. And so, do you recall maybe the first rap song that you heard that kind of like, whoa, struck your curiosity really hard?
Yeah, my favorite first rap song would probably have to be like Sugar Hill, of course.
Oh, yep.
The Sugar Hill Gang. Then also I Rule the World was a big one for me with Curtis Blow.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching Beat Street and Wild Style and all that too at that time, and then Crush Groove comes out. So I'm getting the real essence of it, of course, the message. So I'm getting the essence of it because I'm born 2 years after it, but my sister is already she's already close to in the 80s with it. You know what I'm saying? Like
the perfect age. She was,
yeah, she's already like 4 years older than me. So when I'm just there, 75, whatever, she's older than me by years. You know what I'm saying? So she's able to put me onto stuff like that. So my first record, though, impactful record for me to this day, for me to this day, I would say Audio 2.
Top Billing or
Top Billing, man. To this day, when that drum come on, boom, boom, it's just crazy.
Yeah, and there's a big difference in being a fan and an actual rapper and someone that wants to write raps. Do you recall the moment or the MC that kind of influenced you to put pen to paper? Was there someone responsible for that or a song?
Yeah, it would be more so as I got older, I got more into like um maybe like the first time that I felt like understanding level of rapping was when probably when LL kicked in the door and Crush Groove.
Oh man.
So then I started like because I'm coming up, of course, you got the Run DMCs and all of that type going on, but then LL ushered in a different like confidence of rapping. On when you see him in that movie and he comes through the door, that was probably like the first rapper that was marketed in the movie,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So him coming through with that style, I kind of knew there was a difference from the artist but prior. And then I'm
Yeah.
kind of like coming up under the LL era. And then
Uh,
as I got older, it became Cool G Rap.
oh wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
such a good time. I mean, you got to see it in living flesh and see it
Yeah.
from the start through your sister, and you just being a couple of years right behind it. Has it always been rap, or did you dabble in any other element of hip hop? Were you a
This
break
is
dancer or?
I did everything. We used to have a there was
Yeah.
a I didn't DJ though, but there was a skating rink across the street from me in Brooklyn. It was called Park Circle. Everybody that in Brooklyn know there's Empire, you got that skating rink, and then you had Park Circle, which was by Prospect Park at the other end. They almost was like almost opposite ends.
Yeah.
And I used to always break dance because in the middle of the skating rink was always the circle to do your break dancing. So,
Yeah.
and then so
Yes.
always go to the middle. I used to think I was good because I could do backflips and think
Oh, nice.
now I'm young, so I'm thinking I'm shutting down the circle. I get in, pop, do a backflip, and everybody go, oh,
Yeah.
but I never can land on my legs, only on my knees.
That's
And
all
every
right.
time that's the only way. Um, so that element, I did that. The
Okay.
graffiti, I started drawing. I did that. I used to
Yep.
put pieces up on my wall. Um, the DJing aspect, I never got into the DJing aspect, probably because I just never had the equipment,
Okay.
and I never really like craved like Christmas, give me a turntable.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had other friends like Anthony Leach he's down a block from me. He was probably one of the first people that I saw with an actual turntable, like
See,
to be scratching and stuff.
did you start as Wordsworth as your name, or did you go through a series of other names, or has it always
Yeah.
been Wordsworth?
I start with some other names.
Yeah.
I think when I recall, my first name was the principal. So this is when I'm like
Oh,
12, 13,
I like
maybe
it.
around then, when I'm able to kind of pick a name. Like before that, I really ain't have no name. They call me Mel. So if you go around my neighborhood in Brooklyn, Kensington, right there, Church and Caton Avenue,
Uh-huh.
if you go around there, they'll be like Mel. Like, yo, where Mel at? Boom. Even if I go there now, to this day, Mel. Some
Oh
people might be
man.
like, they might be like words, but if you they know me as Mel.
Okay.
So I never had a name until uh around 13 or so. And I said, I'm gonna be the principal because there was called the new school. So who's the leader of the new school? Who's always in charge? The principal. So
Dude, I love it.
so I said, let me be the principal of the new school because then now I got that top name. I got to live up to that. And then Wordsworth came later on once I got more so close to like college.
Okay.
So like, yeah, more so like late high school, college, because I was sitting home one day, me and my boy we just chilling, watching
Yep.
TV. Heathcliff come on,
Yeah.
and, and I see the cat rhyming and had headphones. And I was known to always rhyme, and I
Oh
had the
shit.
latest headphones. So if you look on my new album, Fragility of Life, if you look on the back, I got headphones back then. This is high
Oh
school
man.
now. Norman
Yeah.
Thomas High School. One wire. See, people ain't had it. I got the one wire headphone back then, Sony headphones, and they cost me $100 back then
Oh,
in high school. So
that
I
is heavy.
basically
That's
had
heavy back then.
the price of the beats I bought for headphones, and I'm in high school. So that's documented on just looking at the picture. I got one thing coming out. I had the basic beats of what it was, then some Sony joints. And then I figured, yo, that's me. I wear headphones all the time, rapping, Wordsworth.
So
I didn't know about the poet. I didn't know about the poet.
Master Ace has a great story about that in your name in your book, right? And what words are worth. And it's great. And he says that, he said that in many interviews talk about the Heathcliff story. And, you mentioned you didn't know it was about, you didn't familiar with the poet at the time, but he just thought it was the absolutely perfect name for you because of your ability to put words together in just a crazy technical way, right? You just get people to listen and they're like, trying to absorb what you were saying. And I was like, and when I read what Master Ace wrote in Thor, I thought about, like, I started flashing back into all the times I watched you on the Lyricist Lounge show. And I was like, dude, he is like just crazy with the stuff that he says. And I always, I've always thought that you're very good at creating mental images and telling the story and then just having people hang on the words. So I really thought, man, that was a great piece that Master Ace wrote in your book. And how did you choose him to write it? Why in particular him?
Well, I toured with Ace. Yeah, I toured with Ace for like 15 years straight.
Oh man.
So if there's gonna be somebody that I revere as one of the best ever, to be able to look back at me to say I'm worthy of rapping on these songs and that my skill level is has made it. When you want to get that stamp, he can tell you why I deserve the stamp. Who else? Who else better than him? Right? That's all. He's already revered in high regard. So he can give you the details of why. He's been around me for so long. Like I said, I toured 15 years with him. So he can say, yo, this guy right here, when he writes a rhyme, he can pretty much give you every detail about me. So it was just ideal, especially for my first book, dealing with lyricism, to have him on there doing that.
Yeah, it was great. It was such a beautiful piece. And I just thought, it's great. The idea behind the book. I've always thought it was cool if people just publish a book and then they just put their lyrics on there. But I love in this book how you explain why you wrote things, and you just gave us an open diary into your mind. So I thought that was cool. And so I didn't actually realize somebody had done it until I read your book a couple years ago. So yeah, real cool. And what motivated you to write the book?
I was watching other people's books being discussed by other people that wrote books about other artists. And I was like, I don't really like that. Like to today, to this day, we're still arguing over what Shakespeare meant. Like today, you don't. So I think I saw maybe Michael Eric Dyson. I think he does the Nas book. I think he does a book called One Mic or something like that. And he's breaking down Illmatic and all that. And I'm seeing people break down stuff, but a lot of times, not saying it's him per se, but like there's people that break down lyrics and got the wrong meanings.
Dude, you are on. That's so true, man.
They don't know the slang. They don't know the blocks. They don't know how to, like me and you could be from two different places, but I can hear a song and from where you're at, and you can hear something from where I'm at, but no, oh, that's what they meant because it's part of the culture.
Yeah, that I grew up in, or you grew up in.
I grew up, and then when they mention something, I at least know that that neighborhood is prominent because of this. That place is prominent because of this bar here. Some people listen to it and they just go, he's rhyming about a street in his neighborhood, and that's it. They can't elaborate on the bars that connect to why that street is important. They can't elaborate because they're not the artist. So you're missing so much, and then you're getting their explanations put into libraries. So now you're getting the wrong explanations. So the research isn't necessarily accurate because it's coming from a third person telling you, as opposed to if I write it and I tell you what I meant in my thought process, now you can say, this is what he meant. He said this because of this. And then also I felt it was important to provide a narrative voice of who I am, because with 16 bars, you'd be like, yo, he's dope. But after the 16, you don't really know what a conversation is with me. Like the book gives you a conversation with me.
Yeah, it does.
Because I get you reading something that I'm writing and you're able to go like, yo, this guy actually talks.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
opposed to just he doesn't just rap, he actually talks. When you read Ace, the preface from Ace, that's Ace talking to us. That's so I wanted to have something with me talking to everybody. So now that helped elevate me a lot just on the basis of people being able to say, oh, Wordsworth is more than 16 bars.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting, man. Usually I'll hear the artist say that they love the open interpretation, but I love it. You're like, dude, let me just tell you what it means, man. This is what it means. So that's great. So there's no twist in interpretation, and they're hearing it from Wordsworth. I love that, man. So
I
super.
mean, if we really were to take it there, if you take it from like a, just really thinking about religion, right? We got the books, we got Bibles, Qurans,
Mhm.
and all these books. And to this day, people interpret it their way. Like we could be of the same religion and somebody say this and somebody say that because we don't have somebody from there necessarily to say, nah, this is what it is. And that happens whether it's religious or it could be science or it could be math, it could be
Yeah.
whatever it is. When you don't have the person that is actually the one that created it, giving it, it can
Yeah.
get diluted. So
Yeah, that's great, man. And I love just how, dude, you're a busy guy and just very motivational and inspiring. So I know this ain't the only book, and you got a children's book that you released too as well. And
yeah.
so and then what chose what kind of pushed you to do that too as well? That's awesome that you've done that.
Yeah, well, I have ideas, and so I have to kind of prioritize the ideas to set up milestones for me to get the support to support the next project.
Yep.
That's how life kind of works.
Okay.
So I did that book, and then I was like, well, I already have the other volume of that pretty much already done, but I was like, I need to do something that's more universal.
Yep.
So the children's book, so Socks, it's more universal. So I can say I'm an author with what words are worth. That's gonna get a certain amount of audience, right?
Right.
But Socks, everybody has kids, friends, you know. Also, it opens up the door of oh, he can write that as well. So I just
Versatile.
wanted, yeah. So I already knew that I did this avenue. I got to do this avenue. And then I have another book. I got other books that I'm writing and they're being created to fulfill other avenues. So what I was saying earlier to everybody is like, you got to do these things because then it kind of galvanizes people from here. Then you got this here, and then they all come together to support this next idea you have. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to build like a coalition behind from everything I do.
Yeah, and I love it because everybody got ideas, but for someone to make it come alive and put it in physical form and actually just make
Yeah.
it come to fruition, that's a different level too. And you've accomplished that in so many ways. And so even in media, man, the Lyricist Lounge, I know you probably get asked this all the time, but for me, it was a fundamental period in my life where I was growing and learning about hip hop, and that was my thing, right? So I didn't have like MTV where I lived, but I saw the Lyricist Lounge show later on when I moved to the States. And so, do you mind just telling me like how that came to life, and did MTV approach you, or did you pitch it to them, or how did that work?
Yeah. Let me shout out Darnell Wright was one of my co-writers, and Lamar Richardson that also illustrated the book. And to
Okay.
give you some insight on the process of getting these books done, we met on Zoom every 2 weeks for like 6 months. So I'm just letting people know because some people like to get started, don't know how to finish. That's what I did.
Yep.
I like to call them like accountability Zooms.
Yep.
So we meet every 2 weeks. And this could be if you're working on something, your friend's working on something, start that Zoom process to hold
Yep.
y'all accountable. Um, so with the Lyricist Lounge show, that actually was a cipher that was caught during the recording of the Lyricist Lounge album, volume one. So if anybody has that album, there's interludes on there. So one day, all of us artists, about 30 MCs, were in one room, and my friends Wise Guy and Gaston, they have so many freestyles. They're everywhere. They're pretty much everywhere, and they always have a camera. and a radio back then, even back then. So they have so
Awesome.
many. They have almost everything from probably from the 90s for the most part of us rhyming outside because they're twins. They're twins. And what they would do if there's an event in Brooklyn or Bronx, they split up and would go record.
Oh, damn.
So they got almost everything. So they're there. It's a room of us. They throw the beat on. Cypher starts, of course. You can't throw a beat on without us rapping. So I'm trying to think of what could I do to out rap everybody. So the camera comes to me and I just pretty much pretend the wall behind me is a chalkboard and I'm actually doing an at-home video of rapping. So I start freestyling about, and if you need to write a rhyme and put together some lines, you can combine it this time with the rhyme, right? I'm doing that. Yeah. So then I'm rhyming into the camera, teaching at-home video. And then Thurston Howell and AL, and they start raising their hands and asking me questions. Teacher, how do you do this and that? That I'm rhyming, and I respond back. Well, if you want to write a rap, you got to take back. You start with a letter in caps, and it'll start with
oh man,
right? Dude. So I'm responding in rhymes. So that tape, all of a sudden, it gets called The Professor, and a friend of somebody that was down with Lyricist Lounge at that time named Jacob Septimus, he gets a hold of the tape and he calls me up. He's like, yo, Words, I want to meet with you. I go to his apartment. He's like, yo, man, I think this could be a TV show. Oh, I was like, I'm like, all right. He said, yo, man, what you did and this here, man, I looked at this, man, it should be on TV. Let me tell you, man, he told me all that. I was like, yo, that's cool. That's cool. Mind you, I'm like 23. I'm like 23, you know what I mean? Like, all right, that's cool. I left. I said, all right, man. Well, if you think it could be a TV show, man, let me know. That's how I leave it.
Wow.
You know, I'll leave it like kind of like, because back then the process was, this is what I grew up on, is you become a rapper. Then once you become a rapper, then you go into TV. Okay. Then you get commercial, you know, it was a process. That's how I saw it, right? You see, it was rap, then you get the sitcom, and then the sitcom, you get that, right? Well, how he's talking to me then, I'm skipping a process that I never seen. So you're saying this guy that's underground and never had a record deal, I'm gonna go from rhyming in the studio and I'm just gonna jump on TV. Let me know. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. So I think like a couple of weeks go by, whatever, and he's like, yo, I got a pilot opportunity, audition opportunity with MTV, you know, like what you did, you know, and this is the genius where Ant Marshall and Danny Castro, the Lyricist Lounge, and back then come in, is they picked the cast. So they picked me, of course, because I did the rhyme. They know, hey, Words, boom, boom. They picked Power. Now I knew Power, but I wasn't tight with Power like that. We knew each other from circles, and his father was a famous boxer, and he actually did a tribute for him show, and I performed at the show.
Oh man!
So we were tight from that, and then Fool was actually Thurston Howell's like best friend then.
Oh sheesh! And so good.
Danny and Ant chose Fool right then and there, right? So they figured his personality. So they picked us all three because of they were able to identify the personalities. Wow. So we write a sketch. It actually became like a courtroom sketch. And we fly out to House of Blues in California. And House of Blues has like a secret room. Like they have secret rooms in there.
Wow.
For what I didn't know. Like you go through a wall and there's like another room.
That's crazy.
We go in there, we perform it. We perform it live in front of execs. They're like, we love it. This is a Friday. We at home Monday. We get the response Monday. We love it. We want to do a pilot.
Oh, dude.
Film a pilot. You know, we fly back out, film a pilot, and the pilot goes through the roof and we get a show. So all I remember, I get a phone call, Wordsworth, MTV wants to make you a star. And I'm like, yo, this is kind of wild, right? But wow. I have to give it up to Danny and them at that time because they're picking us out of all the MCs in New York in a way to say we We need power. He's Hispanic dude. He can rap, you know, but he also acts already. And if you
Yeah.
don't know Power, Power is if you look at his post on Power Malo, anybody, Instagram today, he posted it.
Yep.
He was in like almost every hip hop 90s video with the Afro. He's
Oh
the
man.
guy, Afro. So he has a lot of connections. And then they pick Fool because Fool is kind of like personality out of control and all over the place. So it's just amazing to think. The point is, you do a pilot, sometimes those cast members don't make it. They swap you out.
Oh
They kept us.
yeah.
I've seen pilots that we watch on TV, and that's not the original people.
That's a good point. And did you get to help pick Heather McDonald and Tracy Ellis Ross too, or were you part of that selection team?
No,
Okay.
I wasn't a part of that at all.
And you guys were
Because
awesome together.
yeah, it was because it was a separate, it was like a show that was meshed together, I would say, with I gotta say the brilliance of Claude Brooks, who used to have a show called Claude's Crib on USA, I think. So he's given the challenge. These guys audition. This is the audition we got. This is before any other actors. How do we turn this to a show? So he's trying to figure out, how do I make a rap sketch show, a show, but for the world?
Oh
It
man.
could have been all rap, but he said we need to have some regular sketches on there too
Yep.
for the average person, and then we'll have some rap sketches. And so his genius of doing that was dope. And then him getting Def Jeff to help be our coach. It's a whole bunch of rappers. He's like, yo, Jeff, we got these guys, they're new,
Mold them.
they can rap, but you know, Def Jeff already had experience on the Out All Night, the Patti LaBelle show, and then producing for. So you know, there's a lot of little things there that you need to win a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
So Jeff was our Bill Belichick, if you want to say that. You know what I'm saying? He was ours. So that's how all of that came about. And then so those other auditions we weren't privy to because we had nothing to do with acting. We don't know nothing about acting. I don't know nothing. I just know how to rap. So we had Kenny Buford was the lead writer of our staff to help us decide. Kenny Buford actually used to help write Martin stand up, and you can look at Martin's credits.
Damn.
The Martin stand-up albums, it got Kenny Buford. And even if you look at the Martin TV show, he wrote the episode with Biggie Smalls and other stuff.
Wow.
So we're getting hip-hop people for us that were like, Kenny Buford, you got to be with them. Def Jeff, you got to be with them. So our coaching team, our coaching staff is just all-star.
Top-notch. Yeah.
Top-notch. So that explains why it worked, because we had the best coaches and people that understood hip hop. You couldn't give us just some regular stuff like that. But yeah, so that's kind of where it is with that.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And you guys, I mean, to be honest, you guys gave Wildin' Out the blueprint. I thought.
Yeah.
And
I think they definitely saw it. Like, well, I know they saw it because Nick Cannon, I met Nick Cannon down the line.
Okay.
And Kenny Buford knew Nick because he actually saw I actually was going to try to audition for it down the line, and so they already knew all that. But it was, you know, Nick Cannon had the brilliance of taking that segment and making it more of a game show, or you know, he made it more. He figured it out, so which made it.
Yes, super cool. And I'm curious, just as one of the main players on that show had an amazing run, and just again critical to the foundation of hip hop culture in general. And this is probably a hard question to answer. What were some of your favorite skits? And any of them that stand out that you recall that just you go back to all the time?
I mean, the first premiere skit with me and Mos on the Ledge.
Dude, that was dope.
That set it off. That set off the whole show, because people are watching the show when it premieres. They're seeing commercial clips of what it is, but not sure. But then when the show ended, it ends with me and Mos on that ledge, and we rapping back and forth. And then at the end, we just jump off the ledge, and it's
and it was like it was like a couple inches off the ground, right?
Yeah, dude, that one etched everything in stone for us right there. It was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, And then also the quality of the rhymes, man. That's the key to it all. Like to this day, you could say any of those rhymes and they're still fire. And that was key to it. That was an internal discussion we had to have amongst ourselves.
Yeah. How long did it take to write a skit like that? Like I love the taxi cab skit with you and Master Foul, and then the bank robbery skit. Just oh man, I could go on forever, man. How long did you have to prep for one episode?
It would take maybe a day or two because we had to write Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is table reads. Then maybe Friday is rewrites, and then film the next Monday.
Sick.
So there's a schedule to all of that, so you got to take those days to write it. You got to do the table read with the executives, what they like, what they don't. Yeah. Then you go back and redo it. And then there's another table read Friday, I believe. So it was like that. Monday, Tuesday, write, Wednesday, table read, rewrite Thursday, Friday, table read, then film. Yeah, that's how it was.
Yeah, I hope at some point they put that stuff on DVD. There's just so much classic stuff for people to learn from. I love the DMX beef jerky stuff and the Russell Simpson shy lip syncers. Just man, you guys just killed it with these skits, man, and it's so awesome that you guys did that. And really, I got to mention too the Snoop Dogg scene. I mean, who's who had featured on that show? The Snoop Dogg one was pretty big too. Yeah,
even Snoop tweets that. Yeah, Snoop, he even like tweets it, and every now and then he'll repost it on his Instagram, like himself. So that's amazing for us, like, to just be chilling, then all of a sudden Snoop reposting it, like, yo, I love doing this. Hearing Wayne Brady mention it on the Breakfast Club, like, yo, you know what show I love, man? You should love the Lyricist Lounge. So, but yeah, Snoop, when it's so wild, I'll never forget it. We're sitting there, and Snoop walks in and he has this script and he says, man, yo, who wrote this ish? Because we wrote for everybody. We wrote everybody's stuff. The only person we didn't write was MC Light, wrote her own. And then Slick Rick wrote half of his. Other than that, we wrote everybody's stuff.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So he came in like, yo, so we like, yo, it's us. He's like, yo, this is cold, right? So then he said, I just want to change some things. He changed, we wrote Dreamcast, some controller. He said, I just want to say blue controller. He added the blue. Yeah. We had Adidas. He changed it to Chuck Taylor's.
Of course. Yeah. West Coast.
Anything he could see in there to make it him, he changed those lines. But overall, everything is us. Everything is us.
That was the first episode I saw too. And who was the rapper that was playing alongside Snoop? I know you were dressed as a police officer, but I can't remember the MC that was.
Oh, that's Master Fool.
Oh, was it? Okay. Yeah, he said that line. He said a line there that was the first time I was exposed to Lyricist Lounge, and he said a line about it's kind of hard finding.
Hard to get the Charizard Pokemon card.
My mind, I was like, dude, he said something like, not hip hop at all, made it sound dope. I was like, damn.
Let me tell you about that. See, all these moments, man, I remember everything when it was written. That line, people love that line, but also the rhyme of the line was dope. Yes. Hard to get the Charizard Pokemon card. So you got hard card. But guess who came up with that? Def Jeff.
Oh, damn.
We're sitting there, we're writing like the negotiations of things we want, and like trying to think of what are some outrageous things we want.
That's right.
Def Jeff goes, yo, we need to put the Charizard card in there. Mind you, none of us are Pokemon,
Right. Like I was like, fuck, this is brilliant.
None of us Pokemon. Def Jeff is just thinking of just him being so in tune with pop culture.
Yeah.
Yo, put the Charizard Pokemon card in there. We was like, all right. And it was, and if you look at it, that's the last of that line request, because it was such a potent line. We knew it's hard to get the Charizard Pokemon card and that too. So Def Jeff, gotta give that to Def Jeff.
Dude, yeah. And so that was my first time seeing the show. And I just, again, you're right. It's like it had nothing to do. It was the most un-hip hop thing you could say, but it was the hardest line ever. So I was like, Holy cow! So I had to bring that up. And just one last thing I wanted to bring up too about the show too was the skit. I can't remember if you were playing a bank robber or cop, but y'all had the hostages dancing. That shit
Yep.
was hilarious.
Yep.
Holy cow!
The
Whose idea
bank that
was that to have the
that's
hostages dancing?
yeah, the heist. That was the bank robbery one. And what's so fire about that? We used the Mob Deep beat and everything.
Oh
Man,
yeah,
killer.
that was
Um,
that was
yeah,
fun.
that one, like when I hear what you're talking about, I remember the moments of what it was, constructing them, of course. So that was the first one we ever wrote,
Mm,
right? And there had to be a discussion amongst us writing. Because the way we wrote it first, we weren't sure how to write it without, we had to wrestle with integrity. So remember, we coming from New York, rhyming underground bars.
yep.
So that was the first time we wrote, and we knew, we learned how to write it that the world will understand it. Good morning, Sharon. You got a name Sharon, correct? I need to endorse the check. Forget the check, and let's just make a withdrawal. Don't move, act like it's normal. Like we like we knew it was fire, but we wrote it, and then we wrote it, and then we started rehearsing it. We was like, yo, this is crazy, and they're like, by today, Y2K. So we just started making sure, we made sure we had the rhymes. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? And once we knew we had the rhymes, a lot of the rhymes, and we were able to say it clear, we knew we was out of here with it, because we was like, people can get it, and we're not sacrificing bars. The rhymes, boom. So we made sure it was very rhyme heavy, so that the people we rapped on the streets with couldn't front on it, but the world could understand it. That's the key.
Yeah, and it was great. And I love how you close that skit with the actual hostage rapping too about him not selling y'all out. That was freaking
Yeah.
that skits were just freaking brilliant, man. And I love it. And again, as mentioned, I just again it was very fundamental to hip hop, and it set the stage for many people's careers and just future shows like Wild and Out. So thank
Yeah.
y'all for putting that together, man. It's very legendary. And so it's interesting to hear you say that you had no interest in the show at first, and you're like, hey, this is not the normal path. I got to be a rapper first before I'll be an actor, right? And so and I want to go back now to some of the music, right? And I'm interested just to hear about how the invite came on the Rock Y'all for the Tribe Called Quest album, right? The Love Movement. And so I thought your starting line was just so hard, and just I just kicked it off correct, right? As a youngin, you couldn't
Yeah.
tell me nothing.
Man, thought I was getting something close on
Yeah, yeah. I
home.
was like,
Yeah.
yeah. How did that happen? The invite.
Okay, so here we go again. So me and Punch are rhyming on Stretch Armstrong and Bobito. We're rhyming on NYU with DJ Clips and DJ Riz at this time. We're rhyming on like all these underground college radio, the staples back then.
Yep.
The tapes are getting passed around, like, it's just becoming wildfire throughout the country of, yo, these two guys. So Lyricist Lounge calls up, they find us, we come in, they're like, yo, we want you two guys to perform at Tramps. And we like, all right, cool. So our friend Gowdy, which was a track master at the time. So Gowdy, he was at that time producing he's producing for, at that time, I forgot what year that is, maybe around that time. He's doing like Noriega, he's doing Nas, he's doing all of this firm stuff. So if you'll see Kurt Gowdy, track master, he's doing all that, but we were like his project in a way, like we his friend's project. So we go in, they said we need you for that. We show up at Tramps, there's no host. So they asked Q-Tip to host.
Oh, damn.
Q-Tip host, and see us, me and Punch, going back and forth.
Ah.
The over
Yeah.
EPMD, I shot the sheriff. But we're going 4 bars back. He say 4, then I come back. And then the crowd is just going crazy. And we just, because nobody never seen that. Probably like just the Punch coming with his line, then I'd be like, and then run, and it's like 4 back. So then days later, maybe like a day or 2 after that, Q-Tip was like, yo, I want those 2 guys.
Oh, wow.
Yo, and
You didn't know him at the time.
didn't know. But hanging out at that time, here's a weird thing. we're hanging out with Mos and Kweli, which knew Q-Tip already. So we don't, he probably don't even know that we know the friends. We're all,
Yep.
yeah. So that's how that happened. So then we
That's
meet with,
so dope.
we meet with him, and he's like, I got a label I'm starting. At that time, he had a DreamWorks distribution deal. He was like trying to gather everybody up. So mind you, Mos is on there. Mos is already friends with Tip. So then it's like, who you got? Punchline Words? Oh yeah, that's my people too. So then everybody on that song was gonna get solo deals with Tip on Rock Y'all. Jane Doe, and those are all. Remember, it's all the same people that's on Twice in a Lifetime.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, from Black Star, right? So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, so it's yeah, this is great, man.
Mind you, I want to say, mind you, both albums dropped the same day.
Oh, that I didn't know. That is nuts.
We're on the Black Star album and on the Tribe album. If I recall, everybody posts that. Typically, they post that both of these albums dropped the same day.
God, both classic albums, and
yeah,
I love just talking. Some of my favorite verses. I love talking to the actual MC and just how that came about. And how did you decide that as being your kickoff line? Because that line was hard as hell. I was like, oh damn.
Oh man.
Do you recall penning that verse? Was that something you did in the studio?
Yeah, we did in studio. We did all our stuff studio. I think that's actually a Dilla track too.
Oh wow.
Because he played a couple of tracks. He played another track that I think was a Dilla track too. That actually ended up being an interlude on the album. But there actually was a song we did to that. And I had a copy of it on cassette. And when I got the copy, Q-Tip saw me have a copy. He said, "Yo, what you doing with that?" Because he said, "Yo, I don't usually let music leave the studio." I didn't know. I had the engineer make me a copy while he was gone, but I didn't know.
Right.
I took it. I think I may have it somewhere. I gotta.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so I actually have another song. It's a dope beat that's on an interlude on that album, and we're rhyming on that doing a song. But it was more like a relationship record. So I think he was trying to figure out like, nah, that would be coming too soft for artists I'm trying to sign. We need something like boom, 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 And I always want rhyme on that track since I was a kid because I was a fan of it from Craig G. Take the Bait.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Who's gonna take the bait? Boom. So I was always wanting to rhyme on that record. So that's probably what also when we wrote in the studio, I was like, I finally get to rap on this record.
Yeah, the opportunities are just flowing.
And that's what I came up with.
Oh, fantastic, man. That's awesome to hear your perspective on that. And yeah, I didn't realize that the Black Star album dropped in the same day. So super cool, man. You got
I think they did
classics. Yeah. And so all this has happened, right? So you did the show, and then you did all these features, and then eventually you go on to jump into your first solo album, Mirror Music, right?
Yeah.
In 2004. Well, that happened way later. And so what motivated you to sit down and actually want to do a solo album? Did you say, hey, this is just time because I've had so much material in other different places?
Well, I had to figure out who I was as an artist. So that was very like, you're hearing like backpack rapper, underground rapper, and I knew that can't be a career for me. I at that time I knew I couldn't do that for like I had the foresight of knowing I had to redefine myself, define who I was going to be. So at that time, if people bought a lot of underground records back then, I started writing rhymes and stories on every record I featured on. I changed up from battle bars.
Oh shit.
And that's what helped me get myself out of the battle world.
You went conceptual.
Yes, I went conceptual every verse. So there was a record Matt Fingers produced, which was one record. I forgot what it's called. But anyway, I'm rhyming as a bowling ball, and I make it metaphorically like it's a relationship. And that record and that rhyme helped me a lot. And then so I started doing features with concepts, and that helped me become the storyteller. Now I got a better staple for longevity because all the best storytellers have the best careers.
Oh man.
Right? I had to figure that out, but I had to wrestle with that. You have to wrestle with that.
Yeah.
How am I going to stay here?
Yep.
So, so then I figured that out, and then I get opportunity. Shout out to Have Tooth Records at that time. I
Yeah.
get opportunity to get this record deal, and then just being methodical about the beats I'm picking and what I want to rhyme about on there. Like, like songs like Shoulder. That's a big record I posted this morning. Somebody actually tagged me and I reposted that. That's Ace favorite, my favorite record, I think Ace says.
Oh man.
Yeah, for Ace. I do Guardian Angel on there.
Yeah.
I
Oh my
got
God.
Be a Man, very, very real record on me on there. Me talking about how I gotta borrow money from my mom just to buy her gifts. Like that's real stuff at that time and going through that. So I knew who I was, and I knew I had to take a risk on rapping about that. Because that's
Yeah.
another thing. That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
I could, people like expecting this and then they get that. And fortunately, when they got that, it resonated. And that's what helped me out with making mirror music to this day.
Yeah, so I didn't even make the connection between the transition from battle rap to conceptual because two of my favorite songs on the album, I'd say the first one was Not Fair. It's very conceptual, right? And in particular, my favorite line, we had a disadvantage standing on the slanted planet. It's crooked, you could tell. Just look at every man that ran it, all's fair in war. I was like, man, holy cow.
Yeah. So that in itself, right? That's that's me and Punch, but me and Punch are known to be rhyming battling. So
That's
even
right.
that, I'm thinking like not fair and rhyming about
Politics.
some, yeah. So because this is gonna be me and Punch on this album, and you heard the EP. We did an EP, and the EP was still me trying to figure out what I want to be, who I want to be. So the EP it's a totally different realm of who I became. But now me and Punch, if we're gonna rhyme together, we gotta rhyme about something.
Yeah.
We have to rhyme about something. So doing that song together, it was important that it was about something.
Yeah, it just makes me appreciate the album even more because I think, and again, I'm just guessing because I'm the guy trying to interpret it, but the last song kind of talks to me about what you just mentioned, your struggle. The song Gonna Be, and
Yeah.
it felt like it was to me, a story of being an MC because in particular, you mentioned got a 9 to 5, so I'm trying to balance it. Yeah, I know I'm talented, but I can't count on it. Challenging. I think the same meant for me to do. I was dude, man. And I felt like that was that struggle you were having in your mind.
Yeah. Being honest and that vulnerability. You know, what helped that album too to solidify me to go forward, it got an XL and double XL.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So that it got an XL, double XL. So that solidified it for who I am. Like, yo, he broke out of that, and then me getting that made it be like, boom, I'm here as a storyteller. This guy's could rap about anything. That
Yeah.
helped a lot. So I gotta shout double excel for that. And yeah, just I was rhyming. Every song was about something
Mm-hmm.
life wise, and I knew. So I kind of made a pledge to myself to not even do a lot of battle records at all
Yeah.
from then to now. Even to this day, I'll do like maybe one bragging record just because show purposes it works.
Yep.
But
Yep.
overall, I have pretty much none of that no more on there except for one.
Wow. Yeah. And I mentioned too, like Guardian Angel is a hard song for me to listen to too because of the just the concept. So yeah, man, that's great. Now I'll have to go back and listen to it again, knowing just what you were thinking, and then probably just will appreciate it. But yeah, super cool. Thank you for sharing some inside perspective on that album. Just a classic album for me in general. And then you got stacks and stacks of album. But I saw that Stu Bangers announced that y'all got a project coming up and coming out really soon, man. How long have y'all been working on that?
I would say like maybe like a year, something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Are y'all close or you can't reveal that yet? How close is it to dropping?
nah, I literally like I would say before I got on here, we just got the final mixes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was
Nice.
just I sent him some vocals from Ali Vegas to be
Oh
on a
man.
song. But I got a track on there with me and somebody rapping back and forth that everybody's been asking me to do a song with that people been like,
Oh man.
they've been like, yo, I would love to hear you and such rhyme together. I would love to hear you and such rhyme together. And we rhyming together and we're going back and forth. So yeah, it's dope, man. The album is real crazy, man. We got Ace on there, of course.
Yep.
I already mentioned Ali Vegas.
Yeah.
But we got some other people on there, man. That's like,
Can't wait.
it's dope, man. It's real dope. Just like the album, just one, like knowing what Stu Bangers does sound wise, you know what I'm saying? And then we were able to like push so many different sounds on here that I felt like would show his balance and my balance of who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Man, I got a song on there that's very special to me when y'all hear it, man. It's called God's Mailbox.
Oh gosh, man.
And I pretty much make the church the post office. Man, so
his prayers and stuff. Oh man.
Yeah, I say like, can you release minority males? Can you make release minorities mail? Priority mail, you know, like can you make releasing minorities from jail priority mail? Like answering my prayers is the mail I'm sending up, and I need you to kind of look at different things from a different thing. Like Lavelle fell off his motorbike. I'm sending this prayer overnight. You know, like so that's a very powerful song, God's Mailbox. And just the way I flip all the terms of the mailbox, like Denise got a warrant. I paid my tithes in church, so this prayer has insurance.
Wow, brilliant.
You feel me? Like awesome. The rhymes on there, man. I got another song on there. Nobody don't know this. You're first person I'm telling some of these songs, but I got another song in there called Yearbook, talking about how all the people in our yearbook, how they turned out.
Oh, damn, that's wild too.
Yeah, I got the concepts is just crazy, but of course I'm trying to think of crazy stuff, but it's also the beats that make me think that way. So hearing me and Stu together with these crazy concepts. So when he tweeted out like the bars, it's only the bars like that because of course the beats are like that. But when you hear the concept like a God's mailbox, you never heard nobody do that. You know, I try to come with these ideas that it's just like, yo, that's crazy. And just revealing those two, I think, make people be like, yo, I never thought about the yearbook. You know, man, I got so many rhymes that I can say from it. Oh man. I played clips though. I played a clip of it on Instagram. I played a song called Not to Be Embarrassed. I'll probably repost it, but I play stuff from the album on Instagram.
Big preview. And you're from the generation that it was important to have physical material. Are you pressing this album on vinyl, or I hope so, because
we got vinyl, we got some CDs. The artwork is very, very ill. The artwork is dope. I don't even know if I should say the name of the album yet. Yeah, I say it. It's called Two Kings.
Oh.
Could say the name of the album, Two Kings, y'all. So look out for Two Kings. The artwork is real dope. Yeah, man. So vinyl, some CDs limited, and then we'll let you know when you get pre-order. Follow me on Instagram and all that. Wordsworth BKLYN. Follow Stu Bangers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't wait to cop that on vinyl. And so with that, again, you got a catalog of amazing music too, classic, and we talked about your work in TV media and in your work as an author. And then, hey, you recently just started the podcast yourself. And man, the guests on there have been awesome, and I love it. It's kind of the same concept, that I just want to be, hip hop has been so good to me, and I want to help share the stories, and I love what you're doing too.
Right.
So, but I just want to hear from your perspective, what motivated you to do the podcast?
Really getting interviewed by people like you and other people, and then like I know I have a story to share, but then I had to like wrestle with, okay, what am I passionate about and what can I talk about that I'm respected for talking about it?
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, what I'm passionate about is writing.
Yeah.
And the process of writing. So that's what it is. I get interviewed and I get asked how I write. And I was like, well, I don't know how Pharaoh write. I don't know how Apani write. I don't know how the beat miners make beats. I don't. So then I would just started going like, now that's interesting for me to
Yep.
talk to people that actually help me sharpen my sword that I talk to all the time, and I don't even know how they come up with the bars, right? Like even if I interview Ace, eventually, like I'm friends with Ace. I don't know how Ace write the rhyme. I just hear the rhyme. He come
That's
to the
right.
studio, he say his verse. I don't go, yo, what made you do this? How this and that? So I'm interested in that aspect of it. So when I thought about it, I was like, that's perfect. Like all my friends I get to talk to about how they come up with a rhyme.
That's great.
Yeah, all my friends. That's what makes the show dope because I'm really these are people I either talk to offline, you know, and things like that, text here and there on whatever. But I just be like, yo, I rhyme with you on this record. Like me and Superstition got so many songs together. You know, we actually got like we actually got like I would say like close to a whole album done. We got like 10 songs, 11 songs together. And despite all that, I don't know how you write rhymes. So I was like, yo, let me ask you how you be coming up with this the beats and it's interesting because it's pretty much the people I'm interviewing are providing cures and methods and ways to other people can hear how they do it and go, yo, I never did that like that. I never thought about that. You know, even producers, I got producers that they hear each other the way they make beats and they go, wow, I never thought about that. So basically, it's a chat with my friends, and these friends are from when I grew up
Yeah.
to now. These are friends from when I grew up that made me dope. So here's the other thing. There's a lot of unsung heroes from that era. So when I
100%.
right? So when I interview an Apani, right? When Apani gets interviewed by me, and if you look at her title, it's so fitting. The first choice, like first voice, because at that time, that she was the go-to female for any verse you wanted, any style,
Hard.
right?
Hard. Woo.
Any style, right then. And then you got Jean Grey, then we start evolving into other females, but Apani was the staple. So she has to be recognized for that, right?
I agree. I got excited when I saw that. And then I saw Queen Heroine. I was like, holy cow, just yeah. So
Right.
I love the lineup, man. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah,
I went to college with Queen Heroine. So
yeah.
I didn't even know Breeze. I knew her first and then I hear Breeze. So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it goes reverse for me with that. And then I got Breeze on my show too. And I'll say it now, but I may be the only person that I interviewed each one of the groups separately
Fantastic, man.
because I think they all deserve
They're shy.
their own shine.
Yeah.
So I got each of them separately. So I'll be releasing the Breeze one, then I'll release the Kev one, and so on because they each deserve their own thing. And
I agree.
a lot of people don't need probably know like Kev, yo, he did a lot of R&B records. People don't know he.
That's
So
so good.
it's my
I'm so glad
appreciation,
you're
man.
doing it.
It's my appreciation for all my friends. Like I dropped the Q Unique one the other day, and
Yeah, that one. Yeah, and I gotta watch that one too. Yeah,
but you know what I'm talking about. Like, so then
exciting.
I gotta get everybody in the arsonist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because I talk to Swell here and there. You know what I'm saying a lot. So it's like these are unsung people, man, that had a huge impact, and they're still doing stuff,
right.
but evolved or doing it still. So yeah,
Yeah.
man, I love doing the show because it's just my friends and we talking. You know.
Yeah, to me, as a hip hop fan, I appreciate it, and I love that you are going to document it and place it on a platform that's going to be there forever for people to reference and learn. And you teach the new school folks about who set it off, and just you give them the ability to go back and look into those people's music. And yeah, just I was excited as a hip hop fan, so to see all like just all the list of names, Eternia, Superstition, I was like, man, this guy is picking them correctly. Yeah,
Unsung heroes, man. Unsung heroes.
I love just everything you do, and you're a dude of many skills, and you stay busy. You got that video too. I also got to mention that before we go into the fun portion, the skin video. Man, that was pretty
Thank
intense,
you.
man. I
Thank you,
love it.
man.
Just hey, that's the way we're born. Powerful message behind the record, and I love it, man. You just do a lot of amazing things. and you're a community leader too, man. I want to shout you out for just going out and featuring on speaker panels too. I know you just did one on August 3rd at Fort Myer, and they were celebrating entrepreneurs, artists, community leaders, and
Yeah.
educators like yourself. How was that experience? You do that quite often, or was that one
Yeah.
of the first?
If I get invited and it makes sense, that's how I have to look at it. Like, so you know, I'm able to come out there. I could talk about music business. I could talk about entertainment, and then I could also show how education, is important as well. So if I'm invited to come do one of those, I just want to make sure it's a topic that I feel I have, um, I guess, reverence or like understanding of what to talk about. I don't want to just be on any panel or be on panels,
Right.
you know. You know what I'm saying? Like popping up, I don't mind, but yeah, I love doing those. We typically it's actually in a group, it's me, Jay Rawls, John Robinson, and Fresh Professor James Mao. We call ourselves the Adventures. And we
Oh, I
actually
love it.
yeah, and we actually we did South by Southwest EDU earlier
Oh,
this year.
Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, we do that. We did Harvard before. We do
Oh man.
presentations as ourselves, and we present to people about how hip hop can be used in the classroom.
I love it.
So, yeah, I constantly just involved in just like being able to provide a voice and perspective of things, because I think sometimes that might be one of the things that people like to bring me out for, because I can explain some complex things in an easier way,
Yep.
and I can relate to everything. You want to talk about TV, I can tell you about TV. You want to talk about movie star, you want to talk about
Again.
albums, I can talk about that. You want to talk about writing musicals, I can write that. Anything you talk about writing, I can write it and tell you about it. So it's been the best thing to be able to be so versatile and something I didn't know where life was leading.
Yeah. I
Just thought
love
I
it, man. Yeah, I'm a big fan of mentors and guys and gals who just educate the future, right? Future
yeah.
people are going to be leaders once we're all dead and gone. So, very again, just happy for me to hear that my heroes are doing that and just spreading the wealth, man. I appreciate that. So, yeah, again, hey man, legend in my book. Thank you so much. I love to close the interview with just some fun questions, and then we'll wrap it up. But hey man, I'm just curious, man. With you do so much stuff, but what do you do for fun? What's fun to you?
Um, Honestly, for me, fun is probably just like, um, man, like sitting down, watching a movie, um, going to a 40X movie. Man, I don't go to theater unless it's 40X.
Okay. Yeah. Hey.
40X is crazy. But really just sitting down, man, and reflecting.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that. I really enjoy just sitting down and throwing on a movie
Okay.
and not have like maybe some worries.
I love it,
You know
man.
what I'm saying? Like just
Simple and
kind of,
plain.
yeah, like I think that's very big, man. I remember like a few years ago when I like was sitting on the couch and watching TV on the living room, and I was just at ease. And I was really thankful. I was extremely thankful, man, that at one point I can just sit down today and just chill. Like that's not everybody can't do that, man. And I don't want
It's
to take that for
luxury.
granted. Everybody, as we wake up every day, we wake up like it's like playing lotto, like you're trying to, win something every day. It's a hustle. And sometimes that's a guy and girl thing, but more so I would say guy,
Yeah.
because we're trying to figure out the next thing to be big and the next thing we trying to figure this out, right? I still wake up with that intent daily. I wake up 6
Yeah.
every morning, no matter the day. But I love when I can just go sit in the living room and throw on in game and just sit there and have popcorn and just chill. And I got no problems. You know what I'm saying? Because
It's
that's
keeps
what
you
it
quiet. Yeah.
yeah. And then just chill. And just like, and then after that, be like, I lay a vocal, lay a rhyme down later. And so that's fun to me, man.
I love that,
Because
man.
I want to say this, man. You got time? Because I don't
Yeah.
want. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm always worried about your time, man. So yeah.
Now I'm good for today, man. I actually posted today. My boy opened up his own barber school, Sean Casey Academy, man. Extremely proud of him, man. So I went there earlier today.
Nice.
But life isn't about chaos. So try to kind of like understand, like sometimes people move and then it's like not chaotic and they're like, I can't be here. It's too quiet. It's too this and that. But it's just probably because we're conditioned and where we grow up that it's chaotic. And now you every day waking up, hustle, hustle, and the cost of living, all these things like that. But life is really about being boring. Boring is actually great. Like when I mean boring, I mean just like you have a moment to sit down. You want to set yourself up and hope that you're working and doing things that you can actually just sit down, man, and watch TV
I
and
love
not touch the phone, like
it. Yeah.
and do that, Just for everybody out there, I have no notifications on. I haven't had them on for years. I will probably mad years. So that's one of the things that keeps me able to do stuff too. I don't know if you like anything. I don't none of that. I don't know when you post nothing. And that also gives me a peace because I'm sitting there and my phone's not going off unless it's a text or a
Yeah.
phone call from something important. I think that would be very helpful to a lot of people if they just turn off notifications for everything and see how your day go. And when you open it up later, all of that stuff will be there.
Yeah. Damn.
So
Different.
um,
I love it.
that's what I do for fun, man. I reflect, and I'm very thankful of people listening and allowing me to be able to just chill, man.
Yeah, I love that, man. I can't wait to get that perspective out. That's really cool, man. You're right. Just the peace and quiet. And man, I got a long commute, long hours at work, and then you gotta, you do music and family time. And so you're right, man. It's a luxury, peace and quiet. And
Peace
you
and
gotta
quiet.
keeping your face out of that iPhone screen, man. Yeah,
You
you're right.
know, I had this thought one day, man, like we all should be aspiring to have grandpa and grandma's cabin, right? Like when you can go somewhere and just sit there and just not worry about nothing and just kind of like look at the lake and do that. Your kids could go there and stuff like that. I don't I would say just being where I'm at, I'm in a pretty serene place in a way, but like that was my mindset, just trying to think of providing these places of peace and
Yeah.
trying to find a place like that. Um, so that's kind of what my mindset is like when I think every day. I just try to be like, man, how do I get to, I love teaching because then I got the weekends to do stuff like this. And then I actually schedule stuff to myself. So like I said, this morning, gotta go check my boy's school. Then I got this. Then I'll probably take a few hours, and then my alarm is gonna go off on my phone for like 9 o'clock to do some vocals.
Man.
So but all that other time is just chilling, watching comedy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's
Yeah.
just trying to that scheduling, man. But yo, live at peace, and it's okay to be bored, man. Not and bored in a good way.
Yeah, that's
So
a great point because everybody feels like they gotta put something on the calendar.
yo,
Yeah.
what time? What you doing tomorrow? It's just like, and I got friends still doing that, which is if that's cool, and I still have that same hustle.
Right, right, right.
I'm just not. Mine's a little more schedule of like, no, I'm not doing that right. I got that at 2, or I'm gonna do that at 9, and like trying to put it together. But yeah, man.
No, you
So
need that empty space to, like you said, reflect, think, and just yeah, you got to decompress, man, from all that. And yeah, that's a great point, man. Hey, thank you for sharing that. All right. Hey, let's see if does Wordsworth believe in Bigfoot and the Loch Ness monster?
man, I don't believe in Bigfoot. Nah, I think the pictures are kind of crazy. I don't know about that.
Suspect, huh?
The pictures are kind of too. Why everybody picture blurry? Come on, y'all. I can't. Everybody picture can't be blurry.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and if it's something current, you definitely can't be blurry with the phones. The phones is crazy now. Get out of here.
No excuse, huh?
But the Loch Ness joint, I thought I just saw something recently on the news with the Loch. They said they had some crazy thing. That's like you can Google it. It's something recent with a certain type of animal that's in the waters up there.
That's probably
Yeah, like because at the end of the day, I can believe Loch Ness more because remember we only could go but so far below the
right.
sea. There's probably they said thousands of creatures we've never seen.
Yeah, I believe
That's
that. That's a good point. I believe that.
that's that once you get to a certain part, we can't even survive, and they're down there chilling. and they've retrieved those animals and seen them and stuff like that. So the fact that we can't even go below a certain situation, I gotta at least have there's a possibility of that because we can't even go past a certain length and there's still life. So I'll go Loch Ness.
Okay, I love it, man. Hey, I'm curious about your palate, man. What is Wordsworth's favorite food? What's his go-to?
All right, so my go-to would be lasagna, turkey lasagna, though,
Oh,
ground
nice.
turkey. Not much cheese. I don't really do dairy like that. I do, I'm the almond milk guy.
Yeah.
Uh, my favorite meal though probably is oxtail, peas, and rice, Caribbean
Oh man.
food. But I don't eat red meat like that. So that's the thing. So I'll do oxtails probably once or twice a year.
Okay.
Like I'll get it. My wife will get it for me for like my birthday.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, because I don't do red meat like that. I'm a turkey chicken guy. Um, and then I do ground turkey, I do turkey burgers. I'll even do a Beyond Meat Impossible burger. Anything, I'll even avoid meat if I can.
Okay.
Uh, so that's really it for me. Lasagna with ground turkey.
I love it, man. That's the go-to. All right, man. Hey, if you had a time machine, would you travel to the past or the future and why?
I'll travel to the future, because then if I pop up, I hope I'm still alive. I get to
Yeah,
see what I
yeah,
did. You know what I'm saying? I can see what I did, and then I might be able to be like, "What happened? Oh snap! What? Nah, I gotta make sure you don't
Let me
do that.
fix that.
Make sure when I go back, don't do that, brother.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Don't do that." You know what
That's
I'm saying? So I definitely gotta go to the future with it. Like, oh, this is gonna be worth that. Let me invest in that. I'm definitely quantum leap into the future.
I love it, man. All right, for a guy that is great at comedy, what? And I won't ask you your favorite of all time, but what is one of your top favorite comedy movies?
Movies, man, I'm gonna go probably Boomerang.
Murphy can't go wrong.
Love
The
Boomerang,
toes.
man.
He created.
Boomerang.
Yeah.
I might go Harlem Nights.
Oh yeah, Eddie Murphy again. Yeah.
Boomerang, Harlem Nights. And then mm, that might be those right there. Cause I've bought those in every iteration there was. So when it came out on DVD, I got it. When it came out on Blu-ray, I got it. Like I had to get those over and over. Those would be probably my favorite two right there that I could just throw on and chill.
Oh, that's great. That's great choices. Well, hey, with that again, just again, man, certified legend in my book, and I was very excited that you gave me the opportunity to share your story. Just been a fan of your work all the way
Thanks,
back
man.
into the late '90s until now, and I'm so glad that you're doing your thing. I can't wait until the Stu Bangers Two Kings album comes out, and just man, hey, you get somebody cheering you on from Hawaii, man. So thank you so much. And any final words before we close this interview out?
Yeah, make sure you go to Wordsworth BKLYN on Instagram. I
Okay,
got the links to my YouTube page. I also have a songwriting course at the University of Miami called Organized Rhyme.
jeez.
So you click on that, it'll actually be 4 courses, and it's me talking to you, pre-recorded, me teaching you how to freestyle, and then I give you 3 techniques of how I come up with rhymes and put them together. I got a clip of that on my wordsworthproductions.com page if you want to see what it looks like, how I teach you how to write rhymes. And then also, um if you're looking to learn about hip hop, I just became a professor of hip hop at Monroe College.
Oh wow.
So it's an honors program at Monroe College .org or .edu. It's .org .edu. If you type Monroe College, you'll see it. It's a honors program, and I start that in September.
Wow.
So I'm gonna be a professor teaching hip hop origins,
Amazing.
which is a big thing for me. So just having my foot in that world. I also still teach middle school. Last week it started, so this was my second week. I just finished. I teach TV, film, and music production. So, um, yeah, and then if you need me to help with license, and I license the one to the University of Miami. That's the big thing about it. I license it to them. So, you when you pay for it, I get a check from it every time people pay for it. Anybody in the world can take it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a non-credited course. Anybody can take it. And if you need me to help write curriculums and stuff like that, I can help, charge people. I also do one-on-one sessions. I did one the other day. Somebody in Australia, I had to get up 5 a.m. because it was at nighttime, 8 p.m. there. Man, I just do a whole bunch of different things. So, yeah.
That's it. And just one question before we end. Is the Monroe College one, can you take that online too? Or is it you have to
Yeah,
be?
that's online. That's online. Yeah, I live in Florida, so I'm going to be doing that with students that's online from various places. Yeah, so you can enroll in that. That's going on now. The enrollment, if you want to do that. Like I said, and then the University of Miami one, that's anytime. You
Right.
actually get that, and then you keep that for a year. It's four parts. And then I'm just working more towards those type of things and just understanding like how to craft these curriculums and finding value in it that it's accepted, right? So um when I wrote the one for the University of Miami, the first course on there like is freestyling. I'm up here like almost doubted myself because I'm thinking they're not gonna understand it, like be like, nah, what's this right here? This ain't a go. But luckily the professor there that runs the department, um, he was like, yo, this is dope. This is
Yeah.
yeah, he knew about hip hop. He was like, this is where it's going. And he approved it. And
Great.
now it's it. Like, but like I said, check out clips of it. Like I have it on my Instagram. Check out the Wordsworth Productions. And so I just do a whole bunch of stuff, and I just feel honored to be able to do all of these different things, man. And yeah, that's what I do.
I love it, man. Well, hey, man, we should all strive to be a little bit like Wordsworth and just so many things that you do, man. And I love it, man. So again, thank you for just being that role model. Really needed in a world like this today. And thank you again for your time. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, thank you for your time too, man. I understand, like, I respect people's time. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah. I hear that.
So I appreciate you using your time to showcase me too.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, I look forward to getting this out. I'll
You
be in
too.
touch. But